Hey, it's Vicky, and it is feeling like spring out there right now. I know it's very cloudy, but the birds are so chirpy and somebody's cutting their grass, and that's like how you know it's springtime. So I have a lot of background ambience going on in the intro to this video, and I hope you enjoy it. I am back with my pink cup, which means I'm going to be picking another book for my 100 Epic Reads project, which if you are new here or you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a vlog series that I've been doing for a couple of years now on my channel, where I have this really cool poster called the 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime, and it's a scratch off poster. So as you read the books, you scratch them off and it reveals a really cute little cover. And I have been working my way through this poster for the last couple of years, and I think I only have about 30 books left. So that's very exciting. The majority of the books on there are classics. Some good, some bad, of the ones I've read. And then the remaining ones, it's a mix, I think, of things. It's a mixture of classics, more modern books, books I have never heard of in my life. And so basically the way I do this is I have this cup and I've put all the titles that I haven't read in this cup. And I pick two titles, and from those two, I pick which one I'm gonna read for this episode, and then I vlog about it. And yeah, so far this year, I have read Emma by Jane Austen, and what was the first one that I did? I've done two this year. What was the first one? Oh, The Kite Runner, which was a more modern book. So yeah, so far it's been a pretty good, it's been a pretty good year for the series. So let's go ahead and just dive in. Let's just pick two books. Let's get it going. I'm a little bit nervous because, like I said, I feel like I'm getting to the point where some of the books, the scary ones, are gonna pop up. And by scary, I mean like War and Peace. I mean, there's a couple other ones that I'm a little scared of, or the ones that I have already picked but decided to go with the other book when I picked it. So I feel like I'm gonna start having repeats coming up, so we'll see. All right, so I have my two. I picked a blue one and a green one. Let's do the blue one first. So we have The Odyssey by Homer. Oh Lord. Okay, this is one of those books that I have no idea. I mean, I know it has to do with like Greek mythology, right? Am I wrong? I could be totally wrong. And it's told in, is it told in like verse? Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. You know what? Let me pull it up because clearly I don't know my classics and I need to look it up. So The Odyssey was first published in 800. So I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it's the oldest book on the poster. And this particular edition I'm pulling up on Storygraph is 582 pages, so it's a little bit long. And it has an overall rating of 3.69, so not terrible, but also not the greatest. So let's see what it is about. It says, the first great adventure story in the Western canon, The Odyssey is a poem about violence and the aftermath of war, about wealth, poverty, and power, about marriage and family, about travelers, hospitality, and the yearning for home. A stirring tale of shipwrecks, monsters, and magic. Written in iambic pentameter verse and a vivid contemporary idiom, this engrossing translation, so it's talking about the translation, matches the number of lines in the Greek original, thus striding at Homer's sprightly pace and singing with a voice that echoes Homer's music. Okay, so, a little scary, not gonna lie. And I actually do already have a copy of this book because my husband, I want to say he took a class in college. I don't know if it was Greek mythology or what it was. It was something, and he read the Odyssey for class, and he has a copy. So that's something to think about, that I already have a copy if I decide to go with this one. But let's open the other option and see what we have. So our other option is Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. This is another book that I already own because I picked it up from a library sale a few years ago. I don't remember exactly what it's about though, so let me pull up the description and the stats Okay, so Memoirs of a Geisha was first published in 1997, so it is a fairly newer title. It's 434 pages, this particular edition, and it has an overall rating of 3.98. And let's see, what is the description? It says, a literary sensation and runaway bestseller, this brilliant debut novel presents with seamless authenticity and exquisite lyricism the true confessions of one of Japan's most celebrated geisha. In Memoirs of a Geisha, we enter a world where appearances are paramount, where a girl's virginity is auctioned to the highest bidder, where women are trained to beguile the most powerful men, and where love is scorned as illusion. It is a unique and triumphant work of fiction, at once romantic, erotic, suspenseful, and completely unforgettable. So, it sounds intriguing. Okay, so I have both of these books in my possession. So that doesn't really factor in to which one to read because I have them both at my disposal right now. The question is, do I want to challenge myself extremely or take the easy way out? So do I want to read the Odyssey, which is going to probably be a struggle, and I don't know how enjoyable it will be, or do I want to read Memoirs of a Geisha, which is probably more palatable, and honestly is a book that I have written down in my planner as a book I wanted to read in 2024. I think I talked about this before in like another TBR video or something. This wasn't like a goal that I made, but my planner had this 24 books in 2024. And so I put some books on there that I definitely wanted to read, some of the Stephen King books and some of the Revisit Remix books. And then I had my daughter, Leia, just randomly pick books off my bookshelf to add to this 24. And Memoirs of a Geisha is one of them. So I feel like I'm gonna go with Memoirs of a Geisha because it's on the Epic Reads poster. It's one of my 24 and 24, so I'd be killing two birds with one stone. And also, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know if I'm ready for Homer. I don't know if I want to tread those waters just yet. So I'm gonna be reading Memoirs of a Geisha, and I hope it's good. I really do. And I know that they made a movie about it, which I've never seen. So maybe I'll watch the movie when I'm done with the book. And yeah, I'm gonna read Memoirs of a Geisha. So once I get it started, I will do a check-in and let you guys know how it's going. Okay, so it has been months since I filmed the intro to this vlog. Because I had intended to read this book in, I think it was May, and then I got pushed back to June, and now here we are in July, and I have officially started Memoirs of a Geisha, finally. And I'm about 60 pages in, and I'm mostly listening to it on audiobook. The audiobook is going fine. I don't have the audiobook, wow, narrator handy, but it's good so far. I'm going into this not knowing a lot about the culture in terms of geishas in Japan, their role in society, the history of geishas, all that sort of stuff. I don't know anything. I have to say so far I am pretty engaged in the story. Very interested in this woman's life because it's a memoir, so she is an old woman reflecting on her life. And so when you meet her in the beginning of the book, she is a little girl, and she's living in this small village in Japan, and her family is struggling a bit because her mom is sick and dying, and her dad is also getting up there in age. She has an older sister, and it becomes a concern that they are not going to be very well taken care of, especially after their mom passes away, which is an inevitability. So they go to, this man takes them to this place. It kind of seems like it's kind of like a boarding house almost, where they are going to learn how to be geishas. Well, actually, she goes there. Her sister does not. And that's kind of where we are. So she's this little girl, and she's already like kind of starting to learn some of the things about what it is to be a geisha. But for now, she's kind of just like a little servant. And so it's kind of sad because she is taken away from her family. And I think at this point in the book, she doesn't really understand what it is she's getting into, whether it's a good opportunity or not. That's kind of still to be explained or to be found out. So, but for now, it seems like she's been taken out of a sad situation and put into another one, because the place where she's gone isn't a very nurturing place. The women in charge aren't very kind. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But so far I am engaged. I am interested. And yeah, I'm just going to keep reading and see what happens. Hey, so I am a little more than halfway through Memoirs of a Geisha. And I'm feeling a little bit conflicted about this book because on the one hand, I feel like I have definitely learned what a geisha is and the cultural significance of geishas in Japan. But at the same time, the actual book itself, I also feel a little bored. So if I wasn't listening to the audiobook, I would have probably DNF'd it by now. But I keep listening, because then on the one hand, I still do want to know what's going on or what's going to happen to our main character. So in terms of the learning about geishas and stuff, I now know that they provide entertainment to people. They sing, they dance, and they attend events and host gatherings and stuff. I guess the thing about it though that I think is the most interesting is that just like any sort of, if you kind of look at a geisha as, an entertainer, someone kind of, I wouldn't say up there in society, but someone who could possibly be envied, maybe. That this book shows you the kind of glamorous side of it, and the sort of positive side of it, but then also the dark side of it. Because in this book, our main character, what is her name? Sayuri. She was not, and I don't know if this is true of all geishas, but she was not, she was kind of forced into this role. She had no aspirations to be a geisha or anything like that. It was forced on her. It's not to say that she's not embracing the role, because she does care about it, but you also see how it can be difficult. First of all, she has this ongoing drama in the book with this other geisha who just keeps making her life a living hell, just starting rumors about her and just being a catty bitch, basically. And so she has that going on. And then also there are aspects to being a geisha that are really stressful and put a lot of pressure, because they have this, they have this standard, right, in society that she has to live up to. Their reputation is everything. And so she's constantly worrying about what she does and what she says and who she talks to and all of this to make sure that she's not going to mess it up. And so it's a very stressful role as well. And then of course too, the chapter I just read, there's a guy who's a total creep that she has to deal with. But again, she's trying to balance that, my reputation's on the line. I need to, make sure that I'm nice to this guy, but then I'm worrying about my reputation, my safety, this and that. So it's just full of conflicts, constantly. So it's interesting, but there are also chapters where it's kind of boring. So, but I'm definitely going to keep reading. And it has made me kind of want to seek out more stories, information, maybe nonfiction about geishas. because this is a, you know, it's fiction and it's told, but it's told in like a memoir format. So you're only seeing our main character's viewpoint of her life and her experience as a geisha. And, you know, so we don't know the broader scope of geishas in Japan, and all that. And so a lot of the information you're getting is just from our main character. So I'm almost curious to read, like I said, a nonfiction book about it to see what it has to say. But yeah, so I have like 150, 60 pages left. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep chugging along. Like I said, the audiobook is saving me right now. And the next time I check in, I will have completed this book. Hey y'all, so sorry if there's a lot of background noise in this clip. The kids have friends over, so I have kids upstairs, I have kids downstairs. There's no escaping the kid noise, so I apologize. But I did finish Memoirs of a Geisha, and this one, like the other two books that I have read for 2024's Epic Reads project, is gonna be a 3-star. Like I think I said in the other clips, there were definitely parts in this that were boring and parts that were I just struggled to stay interested, basically. Sayori was an interesting character. You definitely sympathize with her, but at the end, the way that the book ended, without giving away anything, it just felt icky to me. And if you've read this book, you might know what I'm talking about. You might feel the same way. You might not, but to me, it felt sort of icky. I don't know. I think I just wanted more for our main character. But at the same time, I understand why she felt the way she did. And why she did some of the things that she did because of her upbringing in this environment, you know, using her charms and her, obviously her beauty were like her strongest tools, right? I think that overall the writing was fine. I didn't really have an issue with the way the book was written, other than, like I said, there were just some boring parts. I did start reading other reviews of this book to kind of figure out how I really felt about it, because I do sort of feel in the middle, and that's why it did get a 3-star rating. But in my, you know, reading of other people's reviews, I did see that Arthur Golden actually faced some backlash about this book. He's a white guy, and this book, it seems to me to be pretty well researched. He writes from the perspective of a young Japanese girl, and I felt like it was pretty good. Though again, I don't think I've never read a book like this that dealt with this topic, so I guess I can't really speak to the authenticity. It has definitely made me want to read more books about geisha, and I know now that it's geisha, whether it is singular or plural. I was saying geishas in my other clip, and that was incorrect grammar, so I'm sorry. The backlash he sort of faced was when he was researching for this book, he interviewed a woman who was a geisha. And a lot of the information in this came from this woman, and she interviewed with him under the condition of anonymity. Like, she didn't want him to reveal who she was because she was worried about backlash. She was worried about, you know, a lot of things. And he outed her, and I don't know why he did that. I feel like if you're going to interview someone and you make that agreement beforehand that you are going to keep that person anonymous, then you need to keep that person anonymous. So I don't know if it necessarily affected my feelings about the book, but the feelings about the author, I'm like, yeah, Art, you kind of suck. That aside, just looking at the book, like I said, 3 stars. It was okay. I think like I said, it's made me want to reach out and find more information about this Japanese custom and the more historical, you know, more history on it. This book took place during the 30s and 40s mostly. And I would love to see how it has evolved through time, through history, and how long it's been around and all of that and just things like that. And it definitely, geisha in general seem a little controversial. Some of the things that these girls go through, the way they're treated, the way they're viewed, it's a little sussy, and I don't want to disrespect the culture. I really don't. And that's why I want to, this story in particular though, there were parts about it that made me uncomfortable. And I feel like I would want to read more about it to get more information. All right, so that is it for this episode of my 100 Epic Reads project. I'm hoping to have another one come out in the next month or two. I want to get back to doing this every other month. I fell behind a little bit, but I'm hoping that my next pick is going to be a real winner. Cause like I said, the two picks before this one, The Kite Runner and Emma, were both also 3 stars, I believe. And I mean, 3 stars are, you know, a 3-star rating isn't bad, but I want something exciting next time. I want something that's not middle of the road for me. So hopefully that will happen. And hopefully it'll happen soon. And I will, like I said, do this vlog again in the next month or two. So let me know down below if you have read Memoirs of a Geisha and what you thought of it. And I will see you guys next time with another video. All right, have a great week, guys.